Radio Cloud, the world's leading cloud-based radio operating system. Trusted by hundreds of broadcasters across North America and Europe, our award-winning Radio Playout Studio and Programming Suite is the future of radio, and it starts here. We get the question a lot, how do I broadcast live from the cloud? And the answer is our innovative browser-based live studio. This is what you're looking at right now. It is essentially a virtual console in your web browser, and left to right, it's broken down like this. You have your playlist for the current hour, same colors as you've seen in the rest of the interface, green being music, purple being your imaging, IDs, sweeps, jingles. Commercials would show up in yellow. Voice track placeholders, these have not been recorded yet, are in brown. You have the ability in the live studio to have a lot more local control over your playlist than even the playlist module gives you. You can actually click this little up-down arrow. That's going to let you drag and move around items on the playlist or even delete items out of that playlist for the current hour. The little plus button gives you access to your audio browser. So if I wanted to add a song in, I'm going to open up the music category, and I can drag this to one of a few places. It can go straight onto the fader, it can go to the playlist, or it can go to the hotkeys as well. And so that gives you a lot of flexibility. From the hotkeys, all you would have to do to play an item is just trigger it. The microphone faders are as you'd expect. You just move up the fader and you turn it on to go on air. The cool thing about these, though, is that you can actually see yourself. So here's me on camera. And the nice thing is you can also see your guests and your co-hosts. And so if I were to click on this and send an email or an SMS or a WhatsApp link to a guest or a co-host, that guest from wherever they are in the world could click that link and we could do a live show together. We also built in a SIP and an IP phone hybrid, so you can actually take and make calls directly in the browser, along with this little chat box for communication within the software, which of course can be minimized down to here as well. Radio Cloud gives you a few different methods of operation. Manual, meaning we can manually drag things to the playlist. Auto, meaning it's just going to start playing kind of down the playlist, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, with a couple of music faders, and then one for imaging. So if we do that, you'll see it'll start to play, and you'll see the actual now playing element in red right here. And then it'll transition to the next element, as you just saw there. I'll switch this back to manual. There's also link mode, which essentially lets you link two items with that arrow, and it doesn't have to be two, it can be infinite items, but this is automatically done for commercial breaks, and then you can do it manually for any other items you want to link. If I drag that first linked item to the fader and trigger it, you'll see it turns on link mode up here. You'll see it's playing. It automatically put the Queen song on the second fader because that is linked, and you'll see that it will start playing that right after this first item ends. It'll transition into that, but then it will stop after the Queen song. Now, we're not going to listen to the whole 5-minute song, even though that is a great song. So that's the live studio in a nutshell. You have a settings gear up here to change your input-output devices and a few other settings, but really the crux of it is you can broadcast live from anywhere with just a laptop, a microphone, and an internet connection. That's the bare minimum, but there are other ways that you can work with this too, including with a touchscreen, with a small mixer with MIDI controls. So anything with motorized faders works super well with Radio Cloud because you can control the faders in the cloud, or the cloud can control the faders on your local board, and that is great when you're doing a remote show, so everyone has the same fader position on their local board. Or you could, of course, do it with a professional studio hardware, Telos, Wheatstone, Lavo, DHD, you name it. We integrate with all of them. It just depends on how you want to see it. And one other thing I'll show you is what we call simple mode. This gives you the ability to actually use your normal hardware console and not have the same fader view on the screen. If you just wanted to see your playlist, a wall of hotkeys, and your players here without the full fader interface, this simple mode is a tremendous way to get that same remote, flexible functionality while still using your existing studio setup. So Radio Cloud Live Studio really enables you to rethink, what does my studio of the future look like? I don't need that much hardware. I don't need that huge capital expenditure that we're all used to on studio hardware and studio equipment. I can really rethink this and even use this with something as simple as a touchscreen. It gives you a lot of flexibility, and it really is where the industry is headed in terms of having more control and not being tied down by so much hardware.